Anything that might confirm your old sense of self, they take away.
One of the constants of 20th century Jewish immigration, of Jewish intellectual movements, has been to lessen the power of Europeans in America.
And why is that?
And because they felt that that power represented a threat to them, and especially in the long run.
They wanted to have the United States become less Christian, less
European.
White European.
Yeah,
why is that?
Because, and then you can easily find Jewish activists who say that when they talk about immigration. But the idea is that if you have a homogeneous European society, you can easily evolve towards Nazism. Mm-hmm. In other words, but if you have a society where each ethnic group has a sort of, only a very, very limited power, then that could never happen. You can never have a coalition.
Oh, I'm back. Hey, everybody. Okay. Well, we have not yet connected with Kurt Mexican, but we're trying our best, and we'll have him on as soon as he connects. But in the meantime, I will plow ahead. The Pentagon has just announced that it is going to be scaling back military support to Ukraine. And somebody who is not happy about that is staunch Ukraine proxy war supporter Mitch McConnell, who voiced his displeasure during a appearance in Congress by Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth.
One thing I'm sure we agree on is we don't want a headline at the end of this conflict that says Russia wins and America loses.
So this is what Mitch McConnell's worried about right now. He's not worried about a war grinding on in which hundreds of thousands of people have died. He's not worried about the worry about escalation, which has just increased in light of Ukraine's recent drone attack on Russia's nuclear triad. He's worried about a headline at the end of the war in which Russia wins and America loses. Let's just watch that again.
One thing I'm sure we agree on is we don't want a headline at the end of this conflict that says Russia wins and America loses.
First of all, why would the headline even be Russia wins, America loses if it's Ukraine fighting Russia? Like, it's Ukraine that is losing to Russia right now. They've lost 20% of their territory thanks to people like Mitch McConnell who have encouraged this proxy war at every single turn. So the headline wouldn't even be America loses because we're not even the ones fighting. It's Ukraine and Ukrainians that are dying on behalf of people like Mitch McConnell. But the contempt these people have for Ukrainians is that they can't even acknowledge that Ukraine is in the fight, is the main combatant, right? It's all about America. It's so self-centered because we've used this as a proxy war. But it's just incredible that the sacrifice of Ukrainians doesn't matter to these people so much that he only sees this in terms of like America losing somehow because Russia defeats Ukraine. That's Mitch McConnell for you. So here's more.
And given the fact that all of our adversaries are communicating with each other, that's extremely important if we're going to continue to play the role in the world that the vast majority of members of Congress think we should still play.
My Spectrum service.
So what is he saying there? Given that U.S. adversaries talk to each other, it's really important that the U.S. not get embarrassed if Ukraine loses the war. And he says that hurts our role in the world. So what does he mean? He means the U.S. as the top hegemon. Because if the top hegemon doesn't achieve all of its goals inside Ukraine, which is basically to use Ukraine to destroy Russia, then that's going to look bad for the rest of the world. So Mitch McConnell is admitting, first of all, he doesn't care about Ukrainians. All he cares is about using Ukrainians as cannon fodder to help the U.S. role in the world and its image as the top hegemon. Let's hear this one more time.
And given the fact that all of our adversaries are communicating with each other, that's extremely important if we're going to continue to play the role in the world that the vast majority of members of Congress think we should still play, particularly.
Notice how nothing here is about the fate of Ukraine. Does any of this help the people of Ukraine? He doesn't care. It doesn't matter. It's all about how our adversaries view our role in the world as the top hegemon, which would somehow take a hit if we don't achieve all of our goals in destroying Russia, which happens to entail the destruction of Ukraine and the sacrificing of countless Ukrainian lives.
Now our adversaries are more significant than they have been since the Berlin Wall came down. With regard to the money we're spending, what's the return on the investment of our security assistance to Ukraine?
So he's asking Pete Hegseth, what's the return on our investment? So we're investing in Ukraine to do what? To degrade and destroy Russia, our adversary. And Pete Hegseth is just going to point out, hey, what Trump wants to do is not get involved in a proxy war aimed at destroying Russia. He actually just wants to end the war now for good. This is what happens.
Senator, I would just say, given the approach of President Trump, that's not the headline, regardless. The previous administration, under the Obama administration, Crimea was invaded, and we gave them blankets. Under President Trump, during his first term, he gave the Ukrainians javelins, and the Russians did not invade. Under Biden, the Russians did invade, and aid was slow-walked incompletely, and as a result, it became a gridlock. Thankfully, the javelins that President Trump provided actually stalled the Russian advance. Now we are at a place where Vladimir Putin knows that President Trump is strong. He knows his word means something, and as a result, a negotiated peace in Ukraine makes America look strong.
Okay, my bad, actually. I gave Pete Hegseth way too much rope there. He's not arguing that actually we should make peace just for the sake of peace. He's saying that peace makes America look strong, and therefore it's okay to do. And he touted all the hawkish things that Trump has done in Ukraine. It's true. Trump did send weapons to Ukraine that Obama wouldn't send, and he's apparently very proud of that. What nobody can say is, why are we engaging in a proxy war against Russia, another nuclear-armed power? Nobody in Washington, whether you're for the proxy war or against it, can say this is a bad idea. It's not leading to anything good. It's just killing a lot of people and threatening the planet. Pete Hegseth has to sell it to Mitch McConnell by saying making peace now makes America look strong.
Makes us look like we understand the state of the world and where we want to be focused, even if we understand that Russia's the aggressor and we applaud the efforts of the Ukrainians. There is a moment where you have to recognize what exists on the battlefield and that a better outcome is a negotiated peace to stop the killing and stop the slaughter.
All right, so that's at least some acknowledgement of reality that, hey, like whatever your goals are, the battlefield is favoring Russia right now, so it's time for a negotiated peace. But, you know, this is what Mitch McConnell's been saying for a long time. He doesn't care about the fate of Ukraine. He just cares about using it to degrade Russia. This is him speaking on the Senate floor during the debate more than a year ago about spending another $50 billion on the Ukraine proxy war.
The Ukrainian people are courageous and innocent, and they deserve our help. President Zelensky is an inspiring leader, but the most basic reasons for continuing to help Ukraine degrade and defeat the Russian invaders are cold, hard, practical American interests. Helping equip our friends in Eastern Europe to win this war is also a direct investment in reducing Putin's future capabilities to menace American, threaten our allies, and contest our core interests.
So there you go. This is not about helping Ukraine. He throws in a line about how brave they are. This is about what he says are cold, hard American interests. And what does he mean by that? Degrading Russia's ability to threaten our interests, which means our ability, as he explained in the earlier clip, to be a hegemon, to control the world, because Russia, because it's a nuclear armed power, has pushed back, especially in its corner of the world, on U.S. hegemony. And that's why Mitch McConnell wants to keep this war going, to continue that goal, to degrade Russia. And who cares how many more Ukrainians die as a result. But they're having a hard time selling this right now because Russia, despite the recent embarrassment that it suffered with the Ukrainian drone attack on the Russian nuclear triad, now Russia is still winning the war on the ground. It's taking 20% of Ukrainian territory and it's taking more. So how are people like Mitch McConnell and other warmongers trying to keep the public on board? Well, let's listen to NATO chief Mark Rutte. This is how he tried to sell the European public on the need to continue the Ukraine proxy war and spend more of their tax money on the military-industrial complex as opposed to social services.
Produces in 3 months what the whole of NATO produces in a year. And its defense industrial base is expected to roll out 1,500 tanks, 3,000 armored vehicles, and 200 Iskander missiles this year alone. Russia could be ready to use military force against NATO within 5 years. 5 years. Let's not kid ourselves. We are all on the eastern flank now. The new generation of Russian missiles travel at many times the speed of sound. The distance between European capitals is only a matter of minutes. There is no longer east or west.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Hey, Kurt. How you doing? Kurt Metzger.
Hold on. I got to come back in.
Okay. So that's Mark Rutte, NATO Secretary General. What's his pitch to the European public? If we don't keep this proxy war going, then Russia is going to invade us. Never mind that it's taken 3 years for Russia to take 20% of Ukrainian territory. Never mind that Ukraine has special significance to Russia. There are millions of people inside Ukraine who consider themselves to be ethnic Russians, and they've been at the center of this conflict that's been going on inside Ukraine for more than a decade because of the US-backed Maidan coup that began in 2014. Never mind all that. If we don't stop Russia and Ukraine, they're going to come and invade us. So that's the argument. Fear-mongering about a mythical Russian invasion of Europe if Russia is not defeated in Ukraine, and also an appeal to cold, hard American interests, which is basically, let's sacrifice Ukrainians, let's risk nuclear war just so we can degrade another nuclear armed power. Over to Misha. You're muted, Misha.
I was saying I've got nothing, so I guess it's fine that I was muted. I'm looking, nothing's coming through. Nothing.
We got nothing,
no
huh?
chats.
Okay.
I got
All right.
nothing. And but Kurt,
Oh, words
there he
nice.
is. Look at it.
Oh
Here
my God.
It's working now.
Hey, there
right.
was a arrest here supposedly in Austin for like a miniature version of LA, but I didn't see it.
Well, yeah, you're missing out, Kurt, being in Austin right now, and there's a lot of fun to be had over here.
A lot of ice. Isn't it just downtown? It's not like everywhere, right?
Yeah, no, it's just downtown. Just downtown. Aaron, do you need to set up for your next story?
Well, that's what I'm talking to Malcolm about right now.
Okay.
Malcolm, get back to me, but we can keep chatting as I'm doing that.
Kurt,
how's it going?
Documentary? Oh, sorry. What?
Yeah.
And we'll go back to Aaron and Kurt.
Would you?
Well, Kurt, how's it going?
Oh, not too bad. I just was watching that Inside Bibi Netanyahu documentary.
You're
the one that got pulled?
Oh no, I haven't seen that.
Yeah. Wow.
Is that the one? Is it? Do they have the clip where he brags about how he can control and like manipulate America into doing what he wants?
Oh, they got clips of the Adelsons in the interrogation room talking about what scumbags the Netanyahus are.
Yeah.
And how they think they're going to stop talking to them because they're the worst.
Yeah.
His kid's a psychopath. Like they kept calling him ultra right wing or something. And basically he's such a criminal that he had to make a deal with those two. Who's the guy, when they shot the prime minister back in Yitzhak Rabin back in the day, that group. They're a terror.
Yeah.
I forget the name, but anyway, he had to deal with them. So all this craziness, they want, like, for example, let's say somebody called the Hannibal Directive on a certain day at a certain rave outside a certain concentration camp. That's what those psychopaths wanted, the people backing him. So he's he's being, how Israel blackmails all Americans. They got everything on him, I guess, these two maniacs from those groups. So he's going to just ride it till the doors fall off or our doors fall off. That's his plan. But real good. It's all his friends and stuff talking about him. It's not, like an Arab or something. You don't have to trust an Arab. You can hear it from Jews.
All right, let's do one more segment.